Vanderland, damn right. Went back to Storm as soon as I could to get the glyph that makes. I've got that as well. Yeah, I do have that myself. I got that plus the what's it called? Swim speed. Unfortunately, I'm still not actually level 85. I'm level 84, but I think this last little stretch might be easy. Because I have 3 new dungeons, plus I can go to Mount Hyjal, I think it is. No, Twilight Highlands. So the XP is going to be huge for this last little stretch. I'm going to go Dark Moon real quick and get my bonuses. Unfortunately, I started playing retail. I say unfortunately, I've been having fun, but unfortunately, because it sidetracked me from playing this, I started playing retail again. I'm just having so much fun with it. I'm so glad I actually got my fucking Pandaria mount as well. I did it on the day that it ended. Didn't bother with the water running one because I could fly. If I couldn't find yeah. If you do, I don't know when, I'm pretty sure this was like there on day 1, but if you max your fishing out, you can get like this nice little raft that breaks when you get hit. So I think you can be in combat, but it only breaks once you get hit. You got it? Yeah, I got it. What was that dragon? It was retail only, basically. I don't think it's here. It was basically, you know the, I forgot the name of the celestial-looking serpent dragon thing. Hang on, I think it's like Elegon or some shit like that. I don't know if it comes up in here, though. One for doing Panther. Yeah, if I type in Celestial, no. But it was green. Biggie Steve. Yeah, that's what it's called. That's not the name. What was it called? Basically, it was a green version of the Celestial Dragon. You know, the transparent dragon with the stars. But it's I got it on retail, it doesn't give it to you here. Which is kind of silly, I feel like they could have at least given it to you here. As well. Where's the thing there? Yeah, because the raid isn't out. Oh, are you talking about the blue one? I guess that would make sense, yeah. That raid's coming out like next week, isn't it? I think I heard something about something coming out next week. Something big. Alright, let's start queuing and we'll get back to questing as well. I finally have a fucking raid-wide buff, man. I'm so happy. A party buff, even. It's big as well. 10% more spell power and 10% stamina. Like, that's filthy. 10% more spell power is so disgusting. Like, just thinking about it, like, just because you have a warlock in the... I mean, I think there is another class that does 10%. Dark Intent, it's so good! But I think there is another class that does 10% that might overwrite it, I think, but, like... Still, just not having a warlock in a party means you don't get 10% spell power is fucking nuts. Oh god, I'm so used to Dragonflight. I wanna do my twirl and fucking zoom. God damn it! I shouldn't have launched retail again. Fuck. What was I thinking? You can put it on random people. Wait, can you? Hold up, really? I can just target some random... Let's hit this guy. I'm sure he doesn't mind. There we go. Oh my god, yeah! What were they, anyways? Were they a druid? I think they were a druid. They had Mark of the Wild. That's cool. I didn't know you could do that. It doesn't say you could do that, though. It literally does not... It does not state that it's a target thing. Oh, if the target is in your party or raid, all party members... If the target is in your party or raid... Oh... I guess it does kind of say it then. It's just very unclear. How's my... I need to get my archaeology. Wait, this can't be right. Isn't that the... What? Is that it? Oh yeah, my son the prince. Give me a second. Speak to that little fuckwit in a minute. I'm gonna go grab something real quick.
Good day to you.
Yoink. I've been doing archaeology to level up, which is just amazing. Alright, where is he? Where's the little fuckwit? There he is.
I hope you are enjoying your stay.
Shut up, Anduin. Rallying the fleet. Twilight investigation. God, I love Demonic Leap. Wait, do I actually have to escort him there? Is he like... Oh, he's flying as well. Okay, I was gonna say. Wait, that gave 50k XP? I thought something else would give me that. Dock workers interrogated and missing parts. Man, Twilight Highlands is pretty crazy. Peasant problems. God, I really shouldn't have played retail. I started a Demon Hunter in the hopes that I could just like make an account that I could just do collection with, like achievements and stuff, like do everything retroactively. And now I'm just like, I feel like a slug. When I was stealing from the dead because I saw a glowy thing and clicked it. 1 hour debuff? What? Wait, where the fuck do you get that? Was that from Pandaria? What's this? Oh. That reminds me of, what's it called? It's in the Pandaland? Okay. That reminds me of, what's it called? In Wrath, like in one of the early zones, there's like there's basically like PETA organization, right? And if you kill like any animals, you get sprayed with blood so that PETA NPCs will attack you. If you kill any innocent creatures. Pandora introduces the random treasures. Right! There were like corpses and stuff lying around and you just go and like loot them. Yeah, holy shit, I forgot about that. Oh, I need to get in range. Data. Okay, yeah, data. That was it. Did he get my birth? Okay, yes. Want to clean yourself some up? Yeah, I couldn't find any. Well, I say I couldn't find any water. I was too lazy to find any. I tried soaking myself in oil, but that didn't work, unfortunately. One second. You know, 10 minutes later because my mum bought a Switch 2 and was trying to figure out how to transfer data. Your mother bought a Switch 2? What? What's the charger for her old Switch 2? Old Switch. I was gonna say, wait, what do you mean old Switch 2? What? I got, that threw me off a bit. Oh, Paladin's not given the party buff. What is the Paladin buff again? I'm trying to remember. Is it the Blessing one? I bet he has it on himself. Blessing of Might. Yeah. Oh my god, it's fucking Mastery, dude. Give me that shit. What the hell? I'll just buy a charger. Just USB-C. I mean, if it's just USB-C, it can't be that hard. Pal, give me back this poor guy. Beacons of light. Oh, what? Protect. Oh, we have to go down and kill things, if I recall correctly. Yeah. Oh, okay. Good job, me. I'll not kill things. I think he's already dealt with it. I'm just gonna return to the group. I need to get myself a fucking. I forgot health stones. I'm making a healthstone before I do that again. Oh, that warlock's a genius. Why didn't I think of that? Right, the fucking teleport back thing. I forgot I had that. I mean, he's already gone down, so fuck it. Let's just. She used the Switch Lite originally. What the fuck? I didn't know there was a Switch Lite. What does that not use a charger? What does it work on? Ooh. There's a Pokemon that didn't have detachable controllers. Oh. I guess that's just for on the go then. I don't know, I kind of like the detachable controllers. Like back when I used my Switch, I much prefer just playing on the TV, you know? She lost the original charger. So does it not use USB-C? Is there something about the original charger? Is it like fucking magical or something? What's happening? Is it stamina intellect crit? Is it like blessed by Nintendo? It's a proper power brick? Proper power brick? Has to be a simulator. Oh, are you talking about one of those, what's it called? Like AC adapters or whatever? Is it AC adapter? Charge Nintendo branded. You have to charge it with non-Nintendo branded electricity. Yeah. Yes. Oh, I see. Well, there's still universal ones of that at least. Like, you probably could have gotten a laptop charger.
Right, let's go. Just need to input the final entry sequence into the door mechanism, and that did the trick. The control room should be right behind this. Oh, wow.
I didn't get a quest for this, did I? Oh. Oh, this place.
What? This isn't the control room. There's another entire defense mechanism in place, and the blasted rock drops broke into here somehow.
Not really there in front of our console. Yeah, yeah.
Clocks. Okay. Let me think a moment. Mirrors pointing all over the place. 4 platforms with huge elements.
I have aggro.
Got it! I saw a catalog and mentioned this to you. This is the Hall of Lights. Okay, simple one. We need you adventurers to take out each of the 4 elements to trigger the opening sequence for the bar door.
Easy. So I'm still leveling up on RuneScape. It's important. It's imperative. This needs to be done. The hardcore grind continues. Why are they saying run? Oh, we're just running with it. I see.
Another one down. Just look at those light beams. They seem to be connecting to the bar door.
Yeah, I suppose it's manageable. Not for my mana though. It's gigantic, and of course it's in Australia. What, like, what's gigantic about it? Is it like centimeters? Meters? Like, how big are we talking here? Motherfucker, stop following me! There we go.
One more elemental to go. The door is almost open.
It's actually an end. Yeah, right? 15 inches. Tape measure somewhere.
That's it. You've done it. The vault door is opening. Now we can. Oh no.
That's pretty big. Oh.
This unit has been activated outside normal operating protocols.
That's a terrifying thought. I mean, stick insects are practically fucking harmless, but it's just weird to think about how. What the hell?
Destruction of foreign urges is authorized.
Healer? Where are the eels? Because it was Australia. I mean, pretty much, right? It's almost as if, like, we just live in a simulation and all the most horrible monsters spawn in Australia first. And they just get weaker as they... Why do you keep going after me? Like, Australia is just the end game zone. Sent prisoners there for a reason. That's actually true, yeah. Oh. Bastard survived, right? But to be fair, now we get funny content like friendly Geordies. So something good came from it. Although we also got... What the fuck is that thing called again? Vegemite? Never mind, I think I take back what I said. Where are we going? We're going multiple ways here. What's happening? Did someone just hit that button while he was on the... Okay. So we're going with the tank. That motherfucker, he actually did it on purpose. He trolled them. What a dickhead. These guys are tough. Oh, rip Paladin. Don't really know what more I could do here besides trying to fear them, but oh god, that might fear them into the boss. Is the Paladin back? Oh, Paladin's back, nice. What are they getting healed by? Is it this guy? Healer's apologizing, but I'm pretty sure they got fucking trolled. They were like apologizing for not being here, but the fucking hunter was the one who like sent him back down again. What a little fuck. He was kind of AFK on the lift, but that doesn't help at all. Let me ignore those. That's fine. Scepter of Power. Yeah, this XP's kind of ass. I was hoping there'd be a quest. That's what I was kind of like banking on here, but I guess not. Going north. Oh, that guy probably needs his buffs again. Oh, motherfucker just spawns more. Okay. It was sexualized, they made the Worgen run. Do you mean like a wolf? Like a dog? Like... Or are we talking about like when they're bipedal? I'm trying to understand it. I don't know if I'm missing something. Don't pretend you don't know. What? What are you talking about? Oh Christ. I played Worgen like once a long time ago, and I couldn't really vibe with it. So that was it for this. That dungeon sucked ass. Holy shit, that took way too long for nothing. Are they doing the rest of it? Nice self-report, right? Oh good. I don't want to be here any longer. Okay. That dungeon was terrible. I was just hoping for a quest. Because dungeon plus dungeon quest equals super XP. But that was ass. What was that? Halls of Origination. I guess we'll try manually questing for queuing for these. It does mean I don't get the 140k at the end, but to be honest, I'm getting 50k per quest at the moment, so it's like, I don't know. I don't want to end up in the Halls of Origination again. What an awful fucking opening line, Jesus Christ. Yeah, 66k for a quest that literally required me to go up and down Stormwind Harbor. I'm wasting my time with the dungeons. What am I doing here? Alright, Dark Workers interrogated. You look interrogatable. Grilling. Oh cool, I don't have to get off that mount. I reckon if I just stick to this, I'll be fine. Like, I'll get through. I'll get to Pandaria in no time. So, is that everything I need to... Oh, where's this? Within Stormwind City. Oh, up there. Okay. Wait, is Anduin even with me anymore? I think he's despawned. Does it say anything about if you lose him? You can find him in Stormwind Keep. Fuck. Okay. Fucking hate Stormwind Keep. Why can't everyone... Why can't all the NPCs just be out in this garden where I can be on my mount? Wait. Where am I meant to go? Oh.
Have you come to speak with my father?
There we go.
Citizen.
I'm from Chaos Bolt one-shotting mobs to actually fighting in Pandaria. The scaling is what is really off, isn't it? But to be fair, Chaos Bolt should still be like... It should still be fucking solid, right? Like, doesn't your mastery buff Chaos Bolt? I haven't actually checked. Because I did play a bit of Destruction back in Pandaria.
Hello.
Yeah, look at this fucking XP is nuts, dude. Holy shit. Follow the trail of gore. Look out behind me. Hold up, I don't have my fucking minion. Oh, that's the wrong minion actually. I should have gotten my Voidwalker. Oh my god, how many of them are there? Leave me alone. I forgot about my buff. God damn it. Is that it? Okay, my Voidwalker. What do you mean spell not read? Oh my god. Is it because I used my Demon Fury to summon it? I don't know, this didn't have a cooldown. No, I think it is because I used Demonic Fury to summon them. Oh, that's awkward.
I hope you are enjoying your stay in Stormwind.
I hope you're enjoying your stay in Stormwind. Shut up, Anduin. Yeah, I've already gotten a bar just doing shit around here. It took me that entire dungeon to get about 1 bar as well. Still nuts, does a third of their health. That's nice. That has me a bit concerned though, because like, about my own fucking class, because I don't do that much damage. Like, my damage comes from like, my fucking army of imps that slowly build up over time. It's very unfortunate, but yeah. Speaking of, I'm just gonna get my Voidwalker out. His demonology is very survivalist. Where am I going? Someone's papers examined. 3rd floor, okay. I'm going into the MI6. guys rot out. Suspicious. Did he just nut me with the little hand gesture? No. Oh. What? What's going on here? Okay. Am I just gonna get 40k XP just for going down here and handing in this quest? Oh, basement? Oh, what? You're going crazy? Look right in front of me over here. Huh? Oh, the guy upstairs, maybe? Yeah. Yep, just 50k just like that. I don't even know why I'm bothering with dungeons. Jesus Christ. Holy fuck, this is just so much XP. Like, it's gonna slow down when I get to the Twilight Highlands. Like, when I actually have to kill things on my quests. But, oh. Speaking of, I'm gonna have to kill things on this quest. You know what, that being said, I might summon my AoE tank. He's a bit weaker, but he does more damage and hits multiple targets. It's just he doesn't survive. It's a very weird trade-off. You have a tank that's capable of single targets, who's an absolute fucking beast, but does no damage. And then you have a tank who's capable of, like, aggroing multiple targets, but does loads of damage and just dies instantly. I fucking hate it. Is that really all of them? Let's grab this one. Can they come up here? Or no, they can't. Oh, there's more down here. I didn't know there were, like, level 80 mobs down here. What the fuck? Surely they must have just spawned as part of the quest. I don't think I've ever flown down here to check. That's so weird. How do you do this quest if you're playing on retail? Why am I seeing art? Are the guards attacking? I think the guards might be attacking the NPCs. Good job. Okay, well this is just wasting my time. Oh, we see it, there we go. Sorry, I need you to attack. I'm taking damage. Okay. Oh, what? The quest stand-in is here, apparently? Well, it certainly fucking isn't. Where's the... What are you talking about? What? Oh. Can I, like, squeeze in? I'm not getting any XP for killing these, so I don't think they are here normally. I think these are, like, unique to the quest.
How are you? Have a good one.
Wait, I can mount while I'm in here? Oh. Interesting. A Black Bishop. What's a boss? into the cathedral. Oh, hell yeah. That's 65 strength on my hardcore Iron Man. So where's this guy? Catacombs, look at this way. Well, that's a lot of enemies down here, which I'm definitely gonna aggro because I have the most annoying fucking pet who just swipes everything. See if I can keep this guy here at least. There we go. Man, not my melee attack power. Oh my god, stop moving. Pawn takes bishop. Oh, you're calling me the pawn? Wow, fuck you, man. I was wondering what he was going on about. Fucking psycho. That 82k XP? Holy shit. Let's just beeline it out of here. Yeah, I'm gonna hit what's it called? I'm gonna hit Pandaria real soon. Probably in like an hour or two. Which is very soon. Oh, hang on. Okay. Samuelson unmasked. Major Samuelson slain. Well, that should be easy. Where is he? How was I still mounted? That was weird. Oh, this guy.
What can I do for you? See you around.
I'm about to confuse the fuck out of this guy because he's like here to do a quest. No, I just turned the guy in there. I just aggroed the guy. Why is he immune? The hell? Immune to all damage. Man, why do people keep turning evil in this hole? You'd think they'd be better at vetting. After the, you know, the whole, I want to say dragon incident. Truth Seeker Belt. Nice. Oh, that's real nice. So we headed to Twilight Shores. That guy's so confused. I think he genuinely was trying to do a quest here. He's just staring at me. I think he actually needed that NPC. Oh. God, I love this game. Is it here? There we go. 33k. We'll just get on this thing. Wait, how fast is this gonna be? Oh no, please just teleport me. I could have flown there quicker. Nah. Also, this is a seaplane. Why are we, like, taking specifically a land route? I have dragons that can do this. Oh no, what have I done? Oh, never mind, it's fine. Okay, okay. It seems like this was part of the plan. Nope, never mind, we're going. God fucking damn it. Is this guy drunk? Wait. Oh, fuck, I knew it. I was gonna say, is this a dwarf? Of course it is. Keep the aftermarket bonus, ignite our fuels supply in one go. Oh, here we go. Are we about to go warp speed? Go on, hit it. Oh. I guess we went warp speed? That explains what that was, though, because I remember seeing that plane in Stormwind a few days ago, being really confused. Like, I'd never seen that before. And that... yeah, I guess that kind of just answered the question. We ignore these, right? We'll get this guy back out. What do I need to do? Oh, I need to kill these guys, never mind. Yeah, 6k XP just for killing each one of these, as well as getting like the 60k for the quest, is fucking ridiculous. I should have probably gone to do my buff first for Dark Moon, but whatever. Because I don't think I can get here that easily again. Not without just flying back and forth, obviously. It's not far, but it's just I don't want to spend time flying back and forth right now. That's 9. Let's fuck him up. There we go. You have the... no, I know, but it's 20 minutes left. I wanted to get, like... I wanted to just reset the timer. Let me see. So, what am I meant to do? Cannon powder. Right. Oh. Wait, hang on. If I stay in flight... I don't dismount. That's so cool. Nice. It dismounts me if I'm on ground, but... hell yeah, fucking speedrun, let's go. There we go. There we go. What's this? Something to do with this, presumably. Wait to be launched from the cannon. What do you mean, wait? Oh. In the belly of the Sky Shredder. Isn't that the Horde's ship? Oh yeah. Look at that. Oh my god, the goblin music. It's so glitchy up here. Is this the belly? I guess so. Run to the balcony and jump to... Oh. Just go through the propeller, I guess? Alright, cool. That was safe. Alright, what are we doing next? Oh, just handing something in? At least you didn't get Titan. What, that guy who fucking bounced off the propeller? Yeah, I forgot about that. Turn into suit there, but sure, yeah. Wait, what is this? Speak to code inside of the High Bank Keep in Twilight Highlands. Who? Is that supposed to be someone here? Oh, he's inside. Oh, like literally inside. I see, I see. Map's just a bit cluttered. There we go.
Need something?
Simon Chandler.
See you later.
Okay. Okay, so Naga slain. Recovered supplies. Okay, so a bunch of underwater stuff. It's a good thing I've got my swim speed. The Vashir mount doesn't work yet, there. Do they drop anything? No. Okay, just to find more supplies. I guess they're not like floating. No. Oh, there's a ship over there with a bunch. Damage. Off to the next crab. Here we go. So there's a couple here, which is nice. And I'm not gonna lie, I am not noticing this 20% swim speed. But I guess that's because like swim speed is normally really slow. So if anything, I'm just going at normal running speed, maybe. Is there a way to see, like, movement speeds? Or is that not? Movement speed. Swim speed, yeah, so if I turn that off, normally 67%, right. There's a quest in here, apparently. Oh. Slay Ophelia, the Siren of the Highlands. What? What's happening? The fuck is this? Lash to the mat. Wait. Oh, am I being, like, offered up as a sacrifice? That's just a fucking night elf. What the fuck? Why is this quest so cool? Like a 2-minute, not even 2-minute quest, like a 1-minute quest that you could easily, very easily miss. What the fuck? I would argue, like, only fucking 5% of players have probably even fucking... I've never seen this. This is the first I'm seeing of it, and I've played this game loads back in the day. I went around doing as many quests as I could just for the sake of getting the achievements. I've never seen this. What the fuck? What sells? This one. Alright, cool. Got a box there. Got one here. Can I leap while underwater? Oh, I can. actually pretty handy. Now I just need to kill more of the black scale naga. Okay. There's a bunch around here at least. I don't think I'm gonna bother with looting, I'm just gonna dot up and fucking run. Is getting fucking eaten alive though. Oh no, it's not, it's fine. Fuck it, we'll just start casting. Don't have enough demonic fury to keep this up. You just parry my fucking shadow wave? Alright, well that's all done. Wrong way. Oh god. I've gotten myself stuck behind the portal, there we go. Where's the other guy? Ooh, that's kind of nice. Yeah. I'm glad I got the first upgrade for my speed though. Like, it's really fucking noticeable. I just need to make all that money again to get the other upgrade. But it's not gonna matter because by the time I get to fucking Pandaria, I'm not gonna be flying anyways. But it's gonna be nice. It's gonna be nice being back on foot. Just taking it easy. They've got the what's it called for Pandaria? The in order to unlock flight, there's like the whole thing you need to do, right? Is it general? Or has that not happened yet? Because I remember to unlock flight in Pandaria, you had to like do all the rep quests. You first upgrade? Your first upgrade? My first, yeah, speed upgrade. I don't know if it's a general thing. Artisan writing, maybe? Yeah, I'm missing, the last one I'm missing right now is the master writing. As you arrive flying mountain Pandaria. Yeah, there's, you poor boy. Listen! It's been a lot. It's been a lot of work. Alright? I've been trying my damnedest, my damned hardest. All the upgrades and sitting on 10k. Yeah. Yeah, the problem is like I made the silly mistake of thinking I could of basically taking on the two professions that I have right now. I really regret taking on these two professions because had I just sold all the green gear and stuff like that, I'd have had so much more money by now. Like the green and blue stuff. But I was just disenchanting, like constantly fucking disenchanting. And now I'm just kind of like sitting with no fucking money, so I just kind of stopped giving a fuck about my professions for now. What's this over here? Scouted, right. Shredder parts. Are those the shredder parts? No. Oh, my pet's gonna die. I'm an idiot. Seriously, just fucking miss at point blank range. I know it doesn't make a difference, but like where you do it from, but still. Alright, let's see what we got here. Abused shredder. Oh, I see. Just have to kill these guys then. Help. Oh, it's a chance thing, you fuck. Salvageable shot. Oh, is this like one of those things where if you have engineering, this quest will be easier? I bet that is the case. Okay. Come on. Nice. This isn't going too bad. I guess I was just really unlucky with that first one. Ah, fuck. How much money was that worth? Oh. Why are people selling junk so expensive at such expensive rates? Like, I'm confused by the fact that it's 17 gold more than anything. Because I know one method that people used to use back in the day was, like for RMT or whatever. What they did was, basically, put junk on the market board for like 10k or something like that. But yeah, it's kind of like, why 17 gold? Like that's nothing. I'm not saying that this 17 gold is RMT. I'm more concerned. I'm more like wondering what it actually is. Like, because I know that's not RMT, so what the fuck is it? There we go. I don't know if I want to do pet battles with it. Wait, he's blue. Oh, I thought they would be purple. I don't know if I want to do it right now. I'm so tired of doing pet battles and still not getting any of the fucking stones. Ooh. That's really good.
What now then? Okay.
Oh yeah, we're past the... Ow! What the fuck? I'm past the halfway mark anyways. What is this? Siege tank. Commander spoken to. Where? Is it like at the front or something? Where the fuck is... I'm seeing all these siege tanks but no commander. Am I going crazy? Oh, right, I see. Do they just all have one? And you just pick one to defend, I guess.
How are you?
What? What's happening? What's happening? It's saying defend, but not... Oh, there we go. Oh, they're so weak. Holy shit. Can I see how much health he had? No. 16k. Just kill it with my demon form. I should get my form back for each kill. They spawn quick enough, Jesus. Never mind. mind. How much XP do they give? Eh. At least I'm getting something. There we go. Let's go hand this in, and I assume this is probably the end of this, like the coast stuff. Stop getting blown up at this beach. It's pretty good. Alright. We're almost there. Well, a lot more than I was before. But it's good. The XP's good. This is so much better than dungeons somehow. Which I was not expecting. What am I doing here? Thorny stank root? What? Oh, okay. Don't aggro me. Nah! He's out for the count. He's not coming back. Let's grab this. This one. For fuck's sake. Alright. Easy 60k out of... I need 2 mil more, basically. So I'm getting 60k per quest on average. More like 70k on average. No, it's about 60k on average. How many 60,000s are in 2 million? That sounds really bad. Wait, what am I meant to do? Oh. Yeah, let me just do that. Oh. Well, that's actually not that bad. It's like just over 30 quests. Oh, except for when the quest does this, then it might be pretty bad. Checking. Send notifications of threshold letters. Oh. Oh. So I was just getting a plug-in on RuneScape that lets me AFK this a little better. Interesting. Gemstone crab time. Okay. Cool. need to go inside, don't I? Yeah.
We must unite the wild.
Oh, my 10% XP's gone. I might go get that again. That is actually kind of huge. I didn't know if it affected quest XP or not, but yeah, it just kind of showed it right there. That is straight up gone. I could set this as my home place, but I wonder if I could. Maybe I can get back quicker from Stormwind. Maybe there's like a portal or something I can use. Alright, let's head over here. Unfortunately, I still have Dalaran as my home place, but not for long. Soon, my home place will be in the Vale of Eternal something. I forgot the name of it. The Vale of Eternal Winds. Blossoms, not winds. That'll be my new home. Do they have the black market auction house yet? Because that was at the back. That was like behind, but I don't know if that got added right away. I'm sorry, did that just say Rathian? What? Like Rathian from... He's got glowing red eyes. Like Rathian from fucking... What's it called? Dragonflight. Unless he's from something else as well. Maybe I just didn't know. Is he also from like another expansion? I thought you played Mr. Pandaria. Well, I didn't remember. I didn't remember Rathian. What? I didn't remember him as a pet trainer. A pet trainer, you know what I mean? Like... Pet battle person. He has a legendary. I didn't know that. I genuinely had no idea. I mean, he's got 3 legendaries. It's just a full legendary team. Jesus, that's kind of terrifying. Where was I? Right, fucking Darkmoon. I got completely sidetracked. Sorry, I'm just... Oh, it does work. Okay, nice. Sorry, I've gone way too far, haven't I? Yep. Wasn't too bad. I also have a quest to hand in for more tokens. I think this last little bit of XP will be enough to get me over. Oh, that's so... Fucking... Was that priests or whatever? Lucky bastards. Oh my god, I always get stuck on that. Where do I hand this in? It doesn't give any XP, does it? Oh, it does! Okay, I'm gonna get some XP first. Fuck. What do you mean? I literally just... Oh my God, I hate when people use the fucking train stuff. It's so annoying. Nah. Like, I fucking hate it so much. It's so annoying. It's so fucking irritating. I don't mind the dialogue being in the game, but like, when you've got this many people, a million of them just going off, like, fucking hell. Alright, I can get out of here now. Christ. Let's see. Give you that. 66k. Big XP. Hell yeah. Alright. This is it. I'm getting that level up. I'm gonna go into fucking Pandaria. Let's see if I can get like an easy teleport there. Maybe I wonder if maybe I can look it up before I do that. Maybe it'll be quicker. Classic map. Twilight Highlands. Twilight Highlands. Mr. Pandaria Classic. Comments. Oh shit. We can't access the portal in... Okay, so there is a portal in Storm. Oh wait, if there's a portal, it must be one of these then. I'll track early gates and the fuck ton of people waiting for the gates and someone puts the train down. That sounds miserable. Deep home, Vashir. Oh, no, there's no portal. It's not Tolbarad. But yeah, I mean, I've been... Obviously, I've queued in Alterac Valley where you've had like 1 million people waiting at the gate, but yeah, no one's ever put a fucking train down. No, take the memory away. Wait, is it really that common? I never had that happen. What the fuck? Okay, maybe I'm just gonna... Yeah, okay, so the flight thing isn't here. Let me type in... Well, Twilight Highlands portal. Right. So I didn't finish the quest line, but if I had... Right. Says the quest. If I'd just done that quest, I would have had a portal back. Fuck, it's right there. God damn it. Check it, shoot. Oh my god. Oh, fuck. Well, there goes like 5 minutes of my XP buff. Just flying over. God damn it. Even in the... It's literally in the quest name, yeah. I didn't know, I just assumed that, like, that flight point was the portal, and I didn't look at the quest name, and... Either way, I blame Blizzard for this. They should have just given me a portal already. It should just already be there. They should have just catered to my every need immediately. They don't pay for my sub. It's not that far, to be fair, especially with the recent upgrade. It's not too bad. My tokens are like 18k on my server. Is that a lot? Because I've been seeing people sell things for like hundreds of thousands. Let me see. Do I have looking for trade in this? A trade chat even? Yeah, trade is in there. I guess it's just not showing up until I, yeah. That's cheap as fuck. Right, okay, I was gonna say... How? That's so weird. Doesn't a WoW token get you, like, a month? Oh, Shav Anger's up on my server. Yeah. On retail, it's like hundreds of thousands. Yeah, I'm not surprised, to be honest. For some reason, I have 500k on retail, and I don't remember how I got that. Pay for subs so people can actually pay for my sub. Yeah. So that means that if you play on a very specific server on a very specific version of WoW that can make you easy money, you could very easily just have your sub paid on and play like another version of WoW. It's kind of like RuneScape in a way, to be honest. Like I've done that a couple of times on the OSRS where like I had enough money to buy the RuneScape bond so that I could like pay for one of my other characters like memberships. But it's a bit different on RuneScape because you only get like 2 weeks, and it's kind of annoying because of that. I wasn't expecting WoWs to be so easy to get a hold of. Jesus Christ. Oh, that's the... I don't know if I want to... I'll give it a go, fuck it. I don't think it's going to go very well. I don't think I want to give it many attempts. Yeah, see, they're not fucking blue. That's a lie. What was that? Oh, he's dead. Never mind. That's so bullshit. That's so fucking bullshit. I'm so mad. I'm actually so mad about that because that was my fucking win. Jesus Christ. I'm not even he's faster than me? Yeah, see, this is why I'm not gonna bother with this. It's so annoying how hard it is to get these fucking... like, how ridiculous the fucking drop rate on these things are. The... what's it called? The upgrade stones. Like, these are the only two I've ever managed to get, and I've been doing pet battles. I've been doing all the pet supply, like, I don't know if you saw it a second ago, but like, I have the pet supplies, I usually have the pet supplies thing filtered so that I only see who gives me pet supplies, and I go around killing all the ones with pet supplies, and still, the only two I've managed to get are these two. This includes doing the Dark Moon Fair guy as well, every day. I've been clearing him pretty fucking easily, and I still can't get any fucking blue stones. It's insane. Oh, I forgot to summon my minion. Like, I'm pretty much just giving up on the idea at this point, and just... I don't know what else I'm gonna fucking do, because it's just... exhausting. Like, I'm just wasting fucking time on that shit. Oh, what do you mean? Better luck farming for blue pets. It's what it feels like, to be honest. And that's the sad thing, is like the ones I got currently, to get the, like, not only did I almost never find them in blue, but to get the stat balance that I currently have, like, that alone, to get them green, took me well over an hour per pet. Like, it was awful. Because, like, I was specifically going after the, what's it called? Like, the stat priority, right? Like, this one being all power because I wanted it to be slower. Like, I deliberately wanted the Nexus Whelpling to be last in turns because he has an attack that literally makes him do more damage for it. And then these two are, like, hyperspeed, you know? And they get a load of fucking bonuses for being first, you know? And I can't do that against anything because I'm just completely fucked over by the fact that everything's a higher quality than me. It just ruins my entire fucking set, like my entire battle, you know, strategy. Oh, I don't want to go that way. Unless, are these PvP Horde or are they just... Oh, they've got to be PvP Horde. Is there one outside? No, okay. Oh, it's here. Right. Oh, and this is the portal. Of course, it's right in front of me. Loss of mastery isn't great. I think I'm gonna leave those. So not only did it say it in the quest name, I quite literally saw the portal, got stuck behind it at one point, and ignored the fact that it basically was a portal. I literally was like fucking wrapped behind it trying to get out for ages, not realizing that that was literally shaped like a fucking portal. Alright, let me see. Oh look, I'm going back to him. I'll try again, see if I can get lucky, but like, I do still run into the issue of his fucking pets being faster than mine. In fact, can I see what their stats are? His name Goz. Yeah, so this information's wrong as well. The plugin has incorrect info because if this number was correct, which is obviously not because it's influenced by the fact that it's rare and not epic, then I would be faster. But I'm not. Yeah. I don't know. I'll give it another try, fuck it, and see how it goes, but I don't think I'm gonna pull it off. Yeah, see, that's... What? No, none of this is correct. Now I'm confused. Also, Helios is a very different creature. Yeah, that... The rivals part is very bugged, I think. Because that is not what I saw. Come on, man. Come on with that fucking shit. Like, eat my entire fucking asshole. Just love how I never fucking, like, they never miss any of their fucking, oh, that's got 200% hit chance, never mind. But I just love how I always fucking miss every single fucking attack. Like, literally this next hit will kill. There we go. Thank God. Eat shit. Oh yeah. I'm gonna die now anyways, but that was good. Question is... This human... Okay, so that's not a good idea. In fact, this guy's faster than him, so I think I'm actually okay to play this. Yeah, I think I got this. Let's see... Oh, that's not great. That's really not great. Okay. Okay, so that's out. That's gone now. I take it that's gone now as well. So he's forced to do the webbing, which isn't great. Wait, why did that go first? Huh? Did he have more speed than me for a second? I'm confused. I don't know. It's funny how, like, one fucking missed attack changes the entire fucking, like, game. Oh, did I not get XP for that? Oh, because it's part of the quest. Fuck. I was hoping I was gonna get, like...
You got my attention. Off with you. Safe travels.
Is there another quest in there? I need to reset my escape thing real quick. Got it, okay. I swear, am I going crazy? Or is there actually another fucking quest in this place? No, I think I'm just going crazy. Never mind. Alright, what's going on here? Oh, great, more mobs that don't give XP. So, yeah, I guess they're instanced, but still sucks. What's this in here? There's dried roses. Oh, extinguish fires. Oh, fuck me, what is this? Of course, they all just spawned where I was. Okay, whatever. I'm just gonna. Are they extinguishing fires as well? Motherfuckers. What? Oh, do I have to get like a new bucket every time? Oh, you're joking. Oh, what? I didn't even click on it properly. Whatever. Do I just have to walk up to it? No. I guess it's just very sensitive. Okay. What? Do I already have another one? Oh, I do. Weird. No, it must be automated, no? Yeah, it is. It is. I didn't click on it that time. Okay. Let's just hand this in real quick. I hate this quest. This is awful. Oh, I don't have to go that far back. Never mind. I just have to go like this far. Oh, they're throwing buckets at me, so I don't have to keep running. I'm an idiot. Okay, I see. So like a bucket will just get thrown. Yeah, okay, it's already been thrown at me. Come on, that's a fucking sweet spot. Give it to me. There we go. Second level. So, where to now? Oh, inside. Drape of lost valuables. What? Is that? That sounds weird.
How are you? You're back.
Okay. There's this other quest. Oh, it's weird, but it's there. There. Okay.
What's on your mind? See you soon. Safe travels. Watch your back.
Alright. That's confusing. It's a lot of things. Okay. Ah, Jesus Christ. Fuck. Oh, that's a big one. Fucking dug a claw right into my leg and swiped. You fucking idiot. What's your problem? Oh shit. So I mean, I could just get away with like threading the needle there. How many items? Okay, I've not been clearing my inventory at all. But we're almost there. Last, what, 25% to go? Getting done. bleeding. I think she may have drawn blood. Nah, it's fine. Never mind. Definitely the deepest one that she's ever fucking done, though. Jesus Christ. What's this?
Hi. See you soon.
Come on. Just a little faster than this would be nice.
What's on your mind?
Oh, what? Straggler defeated. Is there another quest? Oh, there is.
Hello. See you soon.
You got my attention.
Nice. Oh, what? End his misery. Oh. Damn it. It said defeated. I have to kill them. I'm gonna end his misery. Damn it! Why are they getting up? You're supposed to be dead. Whatever. It's over now. Still need to find the weapons. Are there like other weapons boxes? Yeah, there are. Oh, there's a bunch of... Oh, something was here. What is that? Yeah, there's a weapon. Yeah, there's one here as well. There we go. And there we go. Go handle this in. Okay. Still one more over here. There he is.
Here there. Up with you.
Barham's pens. What? Is there a reason why this is a quest? I guess they're upstairs. Ah, here we go. This guy's got his... Gorosh the Pent Stealer. This was very... What's the word? That's a very Blizzard thing, isn't it? At least, you know, 2010's Blizzard. Sack of grain auction 1,000. How? Who is? Nobody's buying that. Surely.
You got my attention.
Okay. Where is this quest going, anyways? Show map. Well, that didn't help. Oh, it's here. I see it. It's like tucked under this guy's fucking head. So, I need to reset my RuneScape thing again with this. Yes, please. I will happily take that. Stuff on RuneScape. Alright, onwards to this one. 4 bars left. Oh, we're so done. We're so going to Pandaria. It's happening. What's this?
Time is money, friend.
Herp Derp. 120k.
Keep it
I'll
real.
fight Herp Derp for 120k XP. Let's fucking do it. Oh. Server Robert. Yeah, can you imagine? I'm not sure you've ever been to Pandaria. How dare you? That is the most wildest accusation anyone has ever made. Anyone has ever claimed. No, I genuinely love Pandaria. Like, in all seriousness, that was my favorite expansion. Wait, where's...
How are ya? You for ya?
Oh, this guy. Oh, I set an actual fucking duel down. Let's go. Them's definitely fighting words. You shit, bitch. Man, I'm just so good at PvP. Right, what is it that I'm missing here? Quest failed. Oh. Was I meant to go down? Get in the arena? Oh.
Good one.
My bad. I didn't know it was like a timed thing. Does he just appear? Oh yeah, there's a whole bunch of dialogue at the bottom. I guess I'll just play RuneScape while I wait. I feel like this is a group quest, isn't it? 85. Oh god, it is, yep. Oh no. Okay. Oh no, he's fucking up my minion. Oh boy. Oh, and I've been feared. Okay. He is destroying my minion. Oh, this is gonna be something. Can I at least stun him? Nope. This is gonna be very interesting. This is gonna be a battle of just fucking spamming this and life drain over and over. Fuck off with that. Oh god, life drain is so weak. This is awful. Let's just get dots on him. Fuck off with that. I wonder if fear works on him. Probably not, right? Let's get some health back while he's doing weak attacks. Okay. Oh my god, that's so annoying. Can I fear him back? Nope. Tried. Oh, you know what would really help, actually? I don't know why I didn't think of this. Okay. It's fine. I got him with the Doom. Doom's a big fucking dot, but it's just well over time. Just takes a long time for each hit to proc, but it does shitloads of damage. Can I disarm him? No, he can't be disarmed. Oh, he's getting close to me. I need to be careful. Shit. I might just resummon my pet real quick before he dies. He gets stunned during this, so it's going to be Bit of an awkward moment because he's gonna go for me for a second. There we go. Alright, we got this. Clear incoming. Hell yeah, get fucked. Group quest my ass. There we go. Nice XP that. Alright, wait, do you just keep fighting him? There's another one? The Crucible can't defeat Torg Drake Flight. Okay, hang on a second. Hang on, before I do this, let me just get a soul stone on myself. Wait, do I need a health stone there? It's like Ring of Blood and Nagran. Yeah, I guess so. XP's nice. Keep it up. Like fucking 100k just for one kill. Although I feel like maybe the other quests are quicker. We'll see. There he is. I just hope he doesn't fear. Fear was just the worst part of the other guy. Oh, this guy really does a lot of damage. That's awkward. Yep, that's fucking dead. I'm dead. I'm so dead. What the hell is this? Oh my god, that hurts so much. Stop following me. No. Damn it. Oh, that's what the soul stone is for. Just gonna wait for him to de-aggro. Can I just get rid of the quest? Oh yeah, there we go, use soul stone. Yeah, I figured that was gonna be the case. There was no way that was gonna go down so easily. I need to get my buffs and stuff back, but yeah, I'll leave that quest alone. I don't want to waste time. Oh, I lost my fucking Dark Moon buff! There's no point going back. We're basically almost there. I really hate that the XP buff gets lost on death. What is this? Melon Griffins? What? Oh, these. And returned? What do you mean returned? How am I supposed to return it? And dispatch them back to their Griffin Riders. What? Oh, I see. Some of them are just dead, I guess. Cool. Like, I don't know what I'm meant to do about this one. Perhaps healing or first aid could get it back on its feet. Well, that's tough, isn't it? Are they all just fucking dead, dude? Jesus Christ. You're such a bitch. Hello? Why can't I... Did that count towards the objective, I guess? Yeah, it did. Wow, this quest is giga ass. Okay, so that one's done. Let me fly. Okay. What the fuck is going on here? Why do I have to keep dealing with this prick? Oh, he's just freed, okay. One's dead. There, okay. Wow, this quest actually sucks so much. Jesus Christ. Suffering and I'm just trimming a bush. It's great, yeah. What the fuck is this? There we go. Alright, now we can move on. I'm almost there though, like I'm so fucking close. Oh, I forgot to give myself, I forgot to rebuff.
Welcome. Watch your back.
Now we head back to this guy. We're almost there. Like, probably a lot less than 10 quests to go, I think. Assuming they regularly keep giving like 60k. Oh, this is 45k. Well, fuck you, I guess. What is this? Hit and haste or mastery and spirit. Hit and haste is good, but I don't know if it's worth getting rid of mastery. Spirit, I don't really give a fuck about, but yeah.
How are ya? See you soon.
Alright, we're almost there. We're almost there. Twilight Stormbender. Wait, what? Oh, am I flying up here? Where's the main target? Is he up here? Yeah. Oh, he's strong. What the hell? This better not be another group quest. Was I supposed to maybe deal with the others first? Is there like some condition that if I dealt with the others first, he'd be weaker? You don't have HP numbers, so I can't judge. Don't have HP numbers. Well, he had 700k, 790k, and I 775k damage is what I ended up. I've got 12k DPS on him, so I don't know. Oh, I guess I was supposed to take something with me. There's no way a quest boss was meant to be that hard without some extra condition. Still not done though. What the fuck? Are you for real with the... Is that a joke? Cause if I wasn't a fucking... If I didn't have my goddamn slam thing, that would have killed me. What? Shut up. Listen, I still killed the boss, alright? I still killed the fucking boss without this, so I don't give a fuck. almost done. Can I get this to like go back without having to fight the guy, or do I have to do this whole sequence? Now attack their leader? Oh, for fuck's sake. Your next Storm Hammer will deal massive AoE damage. Cool. Can we hurry up with this? There we go. That didn't seem to be that crazy. Still feel like I killed him quicker. There's no leave button, which is annoying. Usually there's meant to be. Ow? Oh, for fuck's sake, I still have to kill him? You still have to go down and finish him off? That's so annoying. Oh, you fucking assholes. Alright, there we go. Jesus Christ. Man, they went from like really cool quests to really awful quests in just a matter of minutes. Within the same fucking zone. Money, 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 this one. This time is all over the place. Yeah! It's almost like someone fucking took Deathwing through the office and just went nuts with whatever ideas they had. Right, so 2 different quests. Okay. Alright, let's try... Oh, is it under here? Yeah. Jesus Christ.
What's on your mind? See you soon. Safe travels. See you soon. Watch your back.
What can I do for you? Watch your back.
75k, holy yeah, holy hell yeah even. That's a lot of quests that I can just hand in as well. Twilight guests welcome to Dun. Wait, 20? Okay, it doesn't say anything about like anything else. Victims found, okay. Alright, let's do it. I mean, this is good XP. Like 6k per kill. Plus, I'm gonna get like 100k for this specific quest, I believe. Sorry, 69k even. Did that go down? How did that go down? Is it 70k earlier? What the fuck? Huh? What's flying over me? Island Black Drake. So go to the different parts. Oh, he counts as a guest. It's a fucking strong one, Jesus. Just gotta reset my RuneScape stuff again. It's imperative. At this rate, I will soon be able to enter the Warriors Guild. Am I being attacked? I think I'm being attacked, aren't I? Hold up. Okay, yeah, I am. Motherfucker! Let's just get off the road. I don't want to waste my time with those guys. They're just going to take too long to kill. Also, I might just summon this guy out. He's annoying, but he does the job. Because I have to keep him alive half the time, and it's really annoying for that reason. Yeah, he's already dying. Fucking useless, I swear. He's almost dead already. I'm just gonna fucking summon him again. Where is it? Are there any more victims? Oh yeah, there. Nope. When do I get my next oh, it's literally max level as my next talent, damn it. I can't remember which one it was that I wanted, but... Yeah, none of these are actually that good. Your Dark Soul spells have 2 charges. What is Dark Soul? Is that like... Oh, this! I mean, I suppose that's kind of nice. That's level 90. Oh, is there another one? Is there like another Dark Soul spell? Oh, I guess it's just referring to all Dark Soul spells. Oh, you mean the talent itself? Yeah. I figured that was like max level. I was just trying to see like what I was. Yeah. I was just trying to see like what was up ahead. I just didn't know if I'd done my level 75 one yet. Victim here. Pillager, victim over there. One more victim, and how many people do I need to kill? One more person to kill. Which is really awkward. I don't see anyone. Maybe I could head over to this quest. Oh, here we go. I think I might actually get enough XP out of doing all of this here. If I just hand these in at each one, I'll pick up the quest, but I'm just not going to bother doing it. Actually, unless this is easy. Oh, this is kind of easy. Never mind. What's it? Is it inside here? Oh yeah. Ale is downstairs. Do not touch, sincerely not the bad guys. Uh-huh. No way, that's crazy. Shit. So where's the ale? Oh, there's more. Is that the end? Did we get him? What happened? Oh, what the fuck? Realm first. Will of the Emperor. Damn. 10-player, what's it called? 10-player heroic. That's cool. Wait, it just started the thing again. Why does it keep just despawning? Is this bugged? Everyone just keeps despawning. What am I meant to do? Are they gonna despawn again? They are, aren't they? Am I just meant to stay here? Like, what the fuck's going on? This is actually pissing me off. Oh my god, it's right here. Jesus fuck, I'm an idiot. Right, I see. There we go. It's just very confusing is all. Okay. Now what? Wild Ham Rail. Why don't these quests show on my fucking map? Like, I literally have no concept of where this stuff's meant to be. Oh, it's literally everywhere, that's why. Okay, now I sort of see where it is. It's just not showing up on my mini-map. Fuck it, I'm just gonna hand in all these quests. I think I'm done. I think I am actually done. If I just do this... This one especially is gonna send it over. I think this might actually just do it for me. Because of that one quest with shitloads of XP.
You got my attention.
Yep.
Off with you.
Fuck you, Kata. I am done. Don't want none of your shit no more. You need to chill. Hi, stop. Alright, we're heading over. We're going to start Pandaria. It's finally happened. Hard meditating when you leveled. Hard meditating. To Pandaland, damn right. It's gonna be so good. There it is. There's the quest. The King's Command. Oh, I got given a speed buff. Whoever that is, thank you. They know I'm heading to Panda. I should probably clear my fucking my inventory. I have to balance. Oh, I see. Okay. Right. So I can clear out this entire bunch of garbage. Just sell it all. I'm gonna be replacing it very soon. What's a Abyssal Clan? I'll keep that scroll. Swap out my mounts to be the Dread Steed. Let's go! Looks so damn funny in Mr. Pat. I vaguely remember him being at like the crash site when like everything went down, but I don't remember much else. Where am I going? Bum, 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 bum. Wait, where the hell am I going? Jesus. We're making it! We're making it to Pandaria! It's gonna be so good! Ooh. Oh, it just opens into a fucking cutscene?
Made a thorough inspection of the wreckage, Your Majesty. There is no sign of Admiral Taylor or his ship.
Damn, that's
200
crazy.
ships at my disposal, yet the one carrying my son goes missing. What of their
No one
last
liked them
message?
anyways.
Show me whatever you have.
We have been drawn off course. Foreign air fleet. Many casualties. Shipwrecked on an uncharted
I remember the
path.
trailer being
But the
kind of
way forward
funny.
is accounted for.
You had like the two guys fighting, and then just Panda shows up and fucking humbles both of them at the same time.
Sir, the 7th Fleet has already been dispatched, but it could take weeks before it...
There's no time to waste. We'll send a small elite force to secure
Man, the
this
graphics
new
are so
land
jank.
and bring back my son.
Oh my god, that was confusing. Wait, I didn't even get to speak to Varian? What? Oh, for God's sakes, I do just have to fly. Oh, they're straight up there, aren't they? Here we fucking go. Wait, I even can't do. Oh, right. Swap my buttons around, didn't I? Who am I speaking to? Admiral Rogers. Where is this guy? I thought he was in here. Oh, is he above? There he is. She is.
Victory in battle is the only...
I am ready to depart. It's the fucking logo. It's the Pandaria screen. Man, I'm gonna get humbled by the PvP immediately, aren't I? I mean, I don't think there's not many Horde on this server, but like, I'm sure there's a lot of spiteful ones.
The flagship's last reported position was below. Can you see anything?
Fog. Nothing but dense fog. Wait.
There it is, it's the Jade Forest!
Those are Horde vessels.
And a bunch of pussies!
Quarter. Get our birds in the air. Hear the
The same thing happened with the first quest. Wait, what do you mean?
This is the most
Oh, there's
powerful.
people here.
Show them what.
gyrocopters? Wait, what?
What's the situation?
Unleash hell. Is that what you're talking about? Is that the thing that... It just completed the quest. I didn't do anything. I didn't get to ride it. The quest is just done. Wait, what?
Do your duty, soldier.
It's just complete... So that's just normal, apparently? Okay, shit. I don't think I've ever seen that before. What the fuck? What? Huh? I just touched it and it was like, good job. Good job, you're done. GG's. What the fuck? I just got so much XP and a good staff for that. What the fuck? Okay. Cool. We made it! Did I heal my battle pets after that? No, I didn't. Okay. Let's do it. Let's save Pandaria. What am I doing? Am I killing these guys? Oh, I need to summon my fucking pet. Oh, they have a lot of health. Oh, but I'm doing a lot more damage because of that stuff, at least. Bitch! I'll help you go away. Oh, yeah. Really, really is quite the difference. I guess, if I had to guess, the stats are in mind for, like, people who were at endgame kata, right? People who had, you know, justice and honor gear or valor gear or whatever, not honor. So they had a lot of, you know, they basically expected a lot for players coming into this. Okay, that was weird. My UI was bugged for a second and I was casting demonology skills. No, it's still doing it. There's a... Okay, there's something happening. There's a really weird thing happening right now. For a moment I have demonology skills while I'm out of demonology form. Am I lagging? Is that what it is? Hold up, let me try this again. So, I've got normal skills. It's lag. It's just like a UI thing. It's not actually the case that... How bad is the lag? There was a way to tell, but I don't know. I don't know. This music goes hard. Yeah, Jade Forest is definitely struggling a bit. I can feel it. Horde War Wagon destroyed? Where? Oh, I guess further up. I wonder if I get to the Vale today. That's where I kind of want to stop, but I don't remember how long this area is. Oh no, it's not more. It's not a UI bug. It's a straight up bug. Amazing. I'm in trouble. Oh, I'm actually fucking out of mana. What? Holy shit, this is quite the entry. I am I'm getting very humbled here. Fucking hell. That's the first time I've been out of mana. Like, ever. In this fucking game. Holy shit. And it's lagging so bad as well. Like, the response time for it feels like I'm playing Final Fantasy. Let's just back up a sec. Where am I? Some war machines in here, apparently. What the fuck was that? What was that? What is going on? Holy shit. This is so laggy. Fucking Motes of Harmony, I remember those. Oh, you fucking bitch. Where are these things I need to destroy? Because I saw one fucking reanimate in front of me and then despawn. Oh, there's one of them. Okay. This is insane. Yeah, that was what just happened to the other one. Do these give buffs? That's means gain 100 hit. Fuck it, might as well grab it. Get whatever we can right now because I'm struggling. There it is. Only took 4 seconds for the buff to register. It's actually so bad. I'm not complaining though, it's funny. Oh, I've got my fucking... I completely forgot. I got my Chaos Wave or whatever it's called. My line attack. now.
Reporting in. Back to your duties.
I don't have anything to fucking destroy, and I assume it's because everyone else is destroying everything. Oh, fuck. Yep, the game lags when I try to do my metamorphosis. So, yep, I just did a fucking metamorphosis ability as a gnome. Something is very wrong. Like, if I go into Metamorphosis and then go out, I'm gonna do a Chaos Wave. Yeah, and not Hand of Gul'dan. And it is genuinely a Chaos Wave and not a Hand of Gul'dan, because Hand of Gul'dan leaves a dot behind. Chaos Wave doesn't. Oh my god. Oh, there's one there. You can fuck off. Why are you flying around doing this quest? Come back when people aren't new. Motherfuckers doing this as, like, just a pastime. You can fucking eat shit. Seriously? Wait. I just do this anywhere and it'll just, like, target one randomly? That's kinda nice. go. Hello? Turn off my fucking burning... I'm like burning myself alive because it wouldn't fucking... what's it called? The lag wouldn't let me turn off my speed buff. Okay, barricade destroyed. Just standing there burning myself almost to death. Yeah, but like, I mean, I've done it a few times by accident as well. But like, this time it was just that it wouldn't switch off. I was like pressing it, and it just wouldn't turn off. So I was just fucking cooking myself to death. But yeah, no, I've done it a few times in dungeons by accident. I don't know why, like, because I'm pretty sure I do turn it off, but maybe it's like something in between. What's it called? I try and do it too close to an attack or something, so it just doesn't proc it. I imagine that's what's going on. Oh, that's not what I was trying to do. I think the funniest, the most annoying actually, the funniest and most annoying is whenever you get fucking brainwashed by something, and oh, I didn't mean to do that actually, but it's fine. Whenever you get brainwashed and the fucking game decides, you know, whatever's brainwashing you decides, I'm gonna pop Burning Rush, I'm gonna pop fucking, what's it called, Hellfire, just pop everything that drains your fucking life. While I'm at it, I'm gonna fucking use health funnels, so I'm just like siphoning my health through 3 fucking attacks. It's just so annoying. The Shara coming! The Shara here! Let's go! Good old Shah. Oh, I just can't wait to see the valley again. Like, without the destruction that happened to it. Because that, again, like, that didn't happen till way later. I'm assuming right now it's nice and clean. Sorry, I'm just getting a lot of levels on RuneScape as well right now, and I'm very happy about it. Jesus Christ. Jade Forest is so cursed. It's actually so hard to play right now. Like, I did this to myself, obviously. I specifically chose a super populated server. But my god, I can't stress how, like, delayed every response is. It's so awkward. How many people are around? I don't know. I can do a search, can't I? Give me a second. Just doing some RuneScape stuff. Okay. What is it, like, do a who or something? Just search Jade Forest. Well, it's full. The list is full, as in, like, it only goes up to 50 people, so I don't know how to search. Is there another way to check? Is it, like, there is a way to check, isn't there? There's, like, a command for it. One second. chick. Well... Fuck off. Jesus Christ. So fucking painful. I think there is a way. By typing /who. Jade Forest. Yeah, it doesn't really... This is just between level 82 and 88, I presume. What do I need to do? I need to kill one more little one. Don't aggro the big guy, fuck's sake. Jesus Christ. Oh my god, go away, leave me alone! God, these fucking things, the share things just, like, hook you so bad. It's so annoying! Let me out of here! Dreadsteed. Okay, let's go this way. Well, I can run on the water, can't I? Hell yeah, I can! Up here, presumably. The reason I got that glitch? Yeah, I mean, Pandaria is gonna need it. Like, especially when you don't have flight. Ugh. Am I meant to get a... Oh, from you, I see. What can you teach me? What are you? I literally can't even click the fucking button. What is happening? Is this just a bug, or is this the... Okay, that's normal. Okay, okay. Do stuff first. Right, okay. I just didn't know if that was a lag thing or not. I genuinely couldn't tell. She did the same to me. Right, okay. Assess wounded pilots. For sake. Alright, should be healed. Just focus this on... Yeah, there's like some barrels, isn't it? Yeah, these ones. Oh, I remember this guy. He like carries them all, doesn't he? Yeah. Do I want to fuck around with that? Probably not right now. Attack. 64. Okay. Where are the pilots? Oh, hold up. Go on here. I keep forgetting I've got a new fucking AoE on my goddamn demon form. Wait, this guy's mortally wounded. There we go. What? What do you mean? He was being healed. Bullshit. Let's get this one real quick. Okay, just need two more barrels of cider. Easy. There we go. That's all those done. Wait, can I hide this? Yeah.
Hello. Greetings. Hello.
Wait, a bunch of stuff got added to my appearance collection? What? Okay. Weird. Where's this last quest? Oh, fuck me. Okay. I guess I missed one way back. Jesus fucking Christ. I just saw the XP for the first level. So it went, throughout Cataclysm, it went from like 1 million, 2 million, 3, and like, it was 4.5 million was the last level I had to get to 85. 13 fucking mil. Just for the first level? What the fuck?
Oh, hello. I hope to see you again soon.
Oh, cool. Easiest quest of my life. Awesome. Man. Can you imagine if anyone ever struggled on that? Let's see. Here we go.
Greetings, wanderer. May the mists protect you.
Unfair trade, twin spare key. Oh,
Keep your mind on the mission. I'm counting on you.
there's a lot of things in one space at least. Yeah. What is this? Eye of Gatrul. Oh god, no, don't do that. Captive Pandarin freed. How? Oh, the eyes are cat. Right, I see. Hang on, I need to do this real quick. Okay, we're good. Alright, so I just need to destroy these eyes. Easy. Oh, it's a little less laggy here. Seems to actually be responding. Let's see if that keeps up, but yeah. Following Soju. Oh. So, what is it I'm destroying? Twin spy munitions, demolishers, Zudagab, and wild imps. Okay. Is this one of the things, I guess? Yeah, this is the... Cool. Fellstone Warlock. Yeah. I guess, like, the entry area is just way fucking laggier than anything else. Because everything's, like, back to normal now, which is nice. So that's my new AoE attack. Cool. Not very strong, but it'll be good for when I run out of stuff. Oh man, okay. Here I was thinking that this place was nice and clear to just run through. And I'm now starting to realize that it was just because somebody came through and killed everything. And now they're all spawning on me. And it's back to lagging again. Yep. Okay. Yeah, you can see. Oh no, I think that was a blink. No, it's a shaman. Shamans don't teleport, right? That worked? I think that worked. Hell yeah. So we go. Have I rescued all the kids that I need to? No. Don't use it. An option for moving stuff from the old console. I know it's there, but she's insisting it's not there. It's funny, it's usually the other way around, isn't it? It's usually the parent telling the child, you know, it's there, and the child's the one who's insisting it's not there, and then the parent just finds it immediately. Oh, this is the munitions, I see. I guess the last guy's up there. I still need to... Look how bad this is. It's just fucking jittering everywhere. I have done the... I've saved all the kids, right? Yeah. I popped Burning Rush like 3 seconds ago. There we go. Turned it off. It only just turns off. Some hidden compartment, I could swear it wasn't that. Yeah, basically that whole situation. Alright, let's just head up. I was hoping to clear the rest of the kills, but maybe I'll find the rest of them up here. I turned it off, man! Oh my god, I'm gonna fucking die to Burning Rush. There we go. So fucked up, man. It's so fucked. That's crazy. It's nuts. Like, this is so difficult to play. I don't even know where the boss spawns here. I don't know if he spawns in there or if he's on I assume he's up here because that's what it looks like, but... Nope, never mind, he's up there. What do you mean immune? Oh my god, turn off. Wait, did that just despawn because I wasn't supposed to go in there? Yeah, I think that's an instance. Yeah, I phased into another thing. Well, not instance, but yeah, like phase. I definitely just phased out for a second. But you know what? That's actually helped quite a bit. Oh my god, it did both the fucking hands of Gul'dan. Oh, I need this. How are you aiming over there? Okay. Jesus fucking Christ.
You got something to report? What do you need?
In all fairness, this server does constantly say it's full. Like, if you check Firemore, the PvP server, it should just always say it's full. So that would be why this is so bad. I need one more kill outside of these two. Yeah, so I transform. None of my skills have changed yet. There we go, now they've changed. And I turn it off. None of my skills have changed yet. Now they've changed. It's never full as the RP one. That's so sad. Oh fuck, I needed that kill. Come on. Oh, you. Got it, I got it. There we go. Jesus fucking Christ. This is nut. The thing is, it's only gonna get worse once I enter the Veil. Oh my god. Once I get to max level and I do world bosses...
I got the right tool for the job. You got something?
Oh no. Oh no, not the world bosses. Oh, Jesus Christ. What, am I meant to read this, or... Oh, I guess we're waiting for him to spawn. There you go, man. Enjoy that. Is that another player? I guess so. Yeah, you enjoy that. Oh.
Let's see how you fight without a flying warship to cover your back.
Ow. Bitch.
Lion fires. The final springs forth. This will execute the whole town. There's something about this land. You don't understand.
I don't even know what the hell was happening there.
Mercy. What happened here? What was that thing?
Spirit. No, we want this one.
Back to your duties.
We call the Shah. Thrive on negative emotions such as doubt. It's been many years since I have seen it manifest.
There we go. Yeah, I actually got to ride one this time.
The horde of monsters.
Right. No! He said destroy and my thing got destroyed. He has the power of the word, just like in that, what was it called? That TV show slash comic Preacher. The word of God or whatever it was. God, that was such a good show. Why does nobody ever talk about that? Like, it was so good. This way. Wait, or that way. Which one is it? I guess it's this way. I'm assuming that's Questy being wrong. Jesus, hang on. I need a second because I need to do my RuneScape stuff again. Okay. So, I don't think this is right. This looks like it's taking me to a horde base, which... Oh! Ah! I see the problem. Okay. So was there like a helicopter over here or something? Is that the idea? Oh no. What? Oh, I see what's happened here. It's marked the NPC in 2 locations. Fuck me. That's so confusing. What have we got here? Oh man. I'm not gonna lie, I don't know if I can do another bout of fucking things right now. Like, I am having fun, but my god, the lag. Like, I think I might call it for now and just continue tomorrow. I'm fucking starving, and I just want to eat, and I don't know if I want to play with lag right now. Especially when they're just running so freely around here. I guess there was a WoW Twitch drop. Wait, was there? Where? I don't have it. I don't see anything. I know there's a new patch coming out for retail or something. Where do I see my gifts? My rewards even? Drops and rewards. Oh, adorned half shell. I didn't get any notification for it. I have a notification. Yeah, I didn't get any. I got it, but I didn't get a notification. What? Oh, it's just the back. It's just like a cape, I think. A cape transmog. Yeah. But yeah, I think I'm just gonna call it here for now, because it's, the lag's a little rough, and I'm hoping it'll just be better tomorrow, like in the afternoon. I mean, people have lives. They're not gonna be playing this game in the middle of a Saturday afternoon, right? Yeah, it's a freebie. Yeah, might as well. But yeah, anyways, I'm gonna go ahead and call it here. I will be back tomorrow because we have raids, question mark. But as well as that, I'm gonna do more Pandaria. Anyways, I'm gonna go ahead and dip, so goodbye.